So Thursday night was exactly what we needed. I'm talking about the Chargers absolutely demolishing the Vikings 37-10. And man, I was sitting there watching this game thinking, is this really the same team I saw 4 days ago? Because let me be honest with you, after that Colts game on Sunday, I was in a dark place. We all were. That was embarrassing, frustrating, and it had me questioning everything about this team. But Thursday night, that was a statement. That was the Chargers showing up and saying, forget what you saw last week, this is who we really are. What's up, Chargers fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook, Chargers. Let me start with the most important thing. We didn't punt once, not a single time. 0 punts the entire game. I remember looking at the stats and just shaking my head in disbelief because when was the last time we had a game like that? They're saying it was back in Week 16 of 2021 against the Texans. That's almost 4 years ago. Our punter, J.K. Scott, literally didn't have to do anything except hold for field goals. The guy could have just gone straight to dinner after the game, maybe hit the gym, because he had the night off. That's the kind of offensive domination we're talking about here. And you know what made all the difference? Joe Alt being back. Yesterday, it was 50-50, but he made it. I cannot stress this enough. Having Joe Alt back on that offensive line was like night and day. When he went down with that injury back in Week 4 against the Giants, our whole offense fell apart. It's crazy how one guy can make such a massive difference. But that's what happens when you're talking about an elite left tackle. Justin Herbert had time to throw. The running game had holes to run through. Everything just clicked. I was watching Herbert back there in the pocket, and for the first time in weeks, he wasn't running for his life on every single play. He wasn't getting hit 20 times like he has been all season. The man threw for 227 yards and 3 touchdowns. And here's the kicker. He also ran for 62 yards on 7 carries. 62 yards. Herbert was out there scrambling, taking off when he saw openings, and it reminded me of what Al Michaels apparently told him before the game. Michael said, "We love watching you run," and Herbert must have taken that to heart because he put on a show.
But let's talk about the real story of this game, Oronde Gadsden II. This rookie tight end is absolutely special. And I'm not just saying that because he had another great game. I'm saying it because this kid is the real deal. He caught 5 passes for 77 yards and a touchdown, and all of that production came in the first half. First half, the Vikings had no answer for him. And you know what Justin Herbert said after the game? He said, as soon as he got here for camp, we knew he was going to be pretty good. We're definitely going to get him the ball as much as we can because good things happen when he gets it. That's your franchise quarterback telling you that this rookie is going to be a huge part of this offense moving forward. I was sitting there watching Gadsden run routes, catch everything thrown his way, and I couldn't help but think about Antonio Gates. I know it's early. I know it's only been a few games, but the way he catches the ball, the way he finds soft spots in coverage, the way he's becoming Herbert's security blanket, it's giving me those Gates vibes, and that's the highest compliment I can give. And here's something that really stood out to me. His route participation has been climbing every single week. Week 3, he was at 29%. Week 4 jumped to 50%. Week 5 was 61%. Week 6 hit 82%. And now week 7, he's at 94% route participation. The rookie has arrived, and he's not going anywhere. Jim Harbaugh said after the game that Gadsden plays like he's been in the NFL for 2, 3, 4 years already, and that tells you everything you need to know about his maturity and his game. Joe Hortiz deserves a ton of credit for this pick. We've given Hortiz a hard time on some things, but finding Gadsden in the 5th round, that's an absolute steal, and it might end up being one of the best picks in this entire draft class. Now let's talk about Kimani Vidal for a second, because this kid proved something on Thursday night. After that disaster performance against the Colts, where he couldn't get anything going, there were questions about whether he was really the answer at running back. But he came out against Minnesota and rushed for 117 yards and a touchdown on 23 carries. That's 5.1 yards per carry against the Vikings defense that's supposed to be good. He ran angry, he ran hard, and it took multiple defenders to bring him down every single time. I loved watching him fight for extra yards, break tackles, and just impose his will on that defense. And it wasn't just the running either. He was blocking well, he caught a couple passes out of the backfield, and he looked like a complete running back out there. This is what we needed to see from him. Consistency. Proof that the 100-yard game against Miami wasn't a fluke. And he delivered.
Lad McConkey continues to be exactly what we thought he'd be when we drafted him. 6 catches for 88 yards and a touchdown. That 27-yard touchdown catch in the second quarter was a thing of beauty. Herbert just dropped it in a bucket, and McConkey made it look easy. This kid is special, and I think we're only scratching the surface of what he can do in this offense. When you've got McConkey, Gadsden, and Keenan Allen all making plays, it creates so many problems for defenses because they don't know who to focus on. And speaking of receivers, we need to talk about the Quentin Johnston situation because it's getting weird. 0 targets, not a single pass thrown his way the entire game. I was watching, and there was one play where Herbert scrambled, and QJ was wide open in the end zone. I mean, wide open, just sitting there by himself. And Herbert decided to run instead. Now look, I get it. Everybody wants their numbers. If you're a young receiver trying to prove you belong in this league, you want the ball in your hands. But here's the thing. Trey Harris got a touchdown. Harris is getting more involved in the game plan, and there's a reason for that. QJ just doesn't attack the ball like you need a receiver to attack the ball. He's not a 50-50 ball guy. He doesn't like contact. And in this league, if you're not willing to go up and fight for the ball, you're going to get phased out. I'm not saying we're giving up on QJ, but I am saying that the coaches are sending him a message. Trey Harris scored his first career touchdown on 2 catches for 8 yards, and you could tell it meant something to the coaching staff. They're rewarding the guys who are doing the dirty work, who are blocking, who are fighting for every yard. Defensively, this was the game we've been waiting for all season. Jesse Minter's scheme was absolutely outstanding. I'll be honest, we ripped Minter apart after the Colts game. We questioned everything he was doing. But Thursday night, he had Carson Wentz seeing ghosts out there. The pressure was coming from everywhere. Wentz had no idea where it was coming from, and even though the guy was clearly hurt, and I mean seriously hurt, like his arm looked like it was going to fall off, the Vikings kept him in the game, which was ridiculous. But our defense took full advantage. We sacked him 5 times. Justin Edwagbe had 2 sacks, and then Khalil Mack, Tuli Tuipulotu, and Odafe Owe each added 1. The pass rush was alive, and it was beautiful to watch. The Vikings only rushed for 34 yards the entire game. 34 yards! Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason combined couldn't do anything against our run defense, and this was after we've been getting gashed on the ground for weeks. But Thursday night, we held them to a 0% rushing success rate until their final garbage time drive. That's dominant. That's the kind of defense we expected to see all season. Cam Hart was sticky in coverage with 3 pass breakups. The entire secondary played well, and even after losing Derwin James to an ankle injury in the first quarter, we didn't skip a beat. That's the sign of a complete team defense. And speaking of injuries, we need to address the Mekhi Becton situation because I'm tired of it. This guy gets hurt every single game. Every single game, he's coming off the field with something, a jammed something, a strained something, and it's a new injury every time. I was watching him limp off and I'm thinking, what is it this time? Because at this point, it's just expected. He's enormous. The guy probably doesn't fit in half the cars on the road, but he's soft. I hate to say it like that, but that's what it is. He doesn't seem like a guy who loves football. He seems like a guy who's always looking for an excuse to get off the field. And you know what? This is probably his last year as a Charger. I don't see him getting another contract here, and honestly, his NFL career might be over after this season because teams don't have patience for guys who can't stay on the field. Foster Sorrell came in for him and actually played pretty well, so at least we have some depth there.
The other injury concern is obviously Derwin James. He left in the first quarter with an ankle injury and didn't return. We're hoping it's not serious because we absolutely cannot afford to lose Derwin for an extended period of time. He's the heart and soul of that defense. Tony Jefferson and Tarheeb still also left the game with injuries, so we're going to have to monitor all of that going into the bye week. The good news is we have 10 days before we play the Titans, so guys have time to heal up and get right. Now, we're sitting at 5-3 with the Titans coming up next, and I feel really good about where we're headed. The Titans are struggling. They're not a good team right now, and if we play anywhere close to the level we played on Thursday night, we should win that game comfortably. After that, we've got a stretch of games where we can really make some noise in the playoff race. I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm seeing wins stacking up. This team's getting healthier, they're finding their identity, and they're starting to play the kind of football we expected to see all season. The key is consistency. We can't have another Colts game where we come out flat and get embarrassed. We need to build on this performance and carry this momentum forward. The offense showed they can dominate when the line is healthy and Herbert has time. The defense showed they can get after the quarterback and shut down the run. And the rookies showed they're ready to contribute at a high level. Everything is starting to come together at the right time, and that's exactly what you want to see from a team with playoff aspirations. Thursday night was special, and I'm hoping it's just the beginning of something even bigger. Bolt up.